Finals day at the MAV Raceway in Austria was wet. Wet and cold. Even the air was damp. As usual, that made the track unpredictable, and no control tyre in the wet meant it was a tyre free-for-all. One of the most notable bump-up drivers was Robert Okonski. Today he won the 132 final. He won the 1/16th final. He won the 1/8th final. Sadly, he didn't start the quarter-final. In Semi B, Maximilian Vogel, who we met yesterday, qualified in second, led out on pole, but was issued a stop-go for a jump start, sending him to the back. Sadly, things went downhill from there and he didn't make the final. In Semi A, René Poepke seemed to struggle, having qualified third, but did well enough to make seventh on the grid in the final, whilst Daniel Sieber continued to drive like he was on his own track and would start on pole. So, to the final. See, the problem with the dodgy conditions and the tyre free-for-all, and with the additives and the potions, it's not just as simple as those that have and those that don't. It's more, well, chaos. Which is probably why the officials decided that despite the wet, it was actually dry. So with Daniel Sieber on pole, nose pointing into that first wide turn into the hairpin, mechanics release the car and they're off. Not the best start for the pole man, back end comes out and Nick Mihalik is right there behind him. The rest of the field staggered slightly by Armin Bayer's pinballing car. So it's white car 1 from white and pink car 2 followed by white car... Come on guys, either get some paint or slow down. The green and white car is René Poepke. He's not looked too happy all this week, but 7th spot in the final, now up to 4th. The white car in 3rd is car 5 of Swiss driver Jörg Neidegger. Lovely block pass on Mihalik, while green and white car of René chases him down and scrambles past into 3rd, as the orange car of Philip Sting in the Serpent is now up to 4th. As the first pit stops give the battle at the front some breathing space, Daniel extends his lead, but suddenly he's out of control into the grass as Frank Chiriola and Theo Topman sail past. They're a lap back, so no biggie, but orange car 8 of Philip Sting has caught up to position 2. There's plenty of sliding around, but Sting is now challenging for the lead. It's almost like there's a different battle every breath you take. One I'm sure Daniel can't stand losing. Anyway, soon Thilo Topman comes from nowhere in 9th position, outbrakes Philip on the straight and pretty much puts the battle to bed. Daniel brings his car in for fuel. As he leaves the pit lane, 3rd place green and white Serpent of René Poepke enters, and as he hits the apex of the hairpin, the 2nd white car is the 2nd place car of Michael Klausner from 10th on the grid. The battle for the lead breaks away. And as the young Austrian driver chases down the experienced 1/12 scale driver in his first major competition in this class, Daniel clips the curb, spins out, and it's all the invitation Michael needs. From the back of the grid to leading the pack, he's come a long way, but still there's over half an hour of racing to go. Fresh from refuelling, Michael's down to 4th. Suddenly he spins out before the hairpin and is hoovered up by back markers, slowing his chance of making up the time before the others refuel. While in the battle for 2nd, Philip Sting is chasing red car 6 of Nacho Lopez Luch, while Daniel is right on Michael's tail, looking down the inside of every corner. Then, does Michael go wide or just let him go past? Too early in this long race for heroics perhaps, and into the pit with an all-important lap on the ever-dangerous local driver. 40 laps down and the battle for 2nd rages on, with Sting and Lopez continuing to trade places, whilst Klausner falls behind and Sieber seems to use every bit of his 1/12 scale electric knowledge to put more and more distance between him and the scrapping pair behind him. 15 minutes down and Lopez Luch has secured 2nd position for now, whilst white car of Sieber is trying to lap orange 3rd placed car of Philip Sting. They make some contact going over the line and Sieber doesn't get his lap, plus he's left with a horrible entry into the pit lane. As he takes his fuel, the 2nd place car comes in for the royal treatment from team boss Michael Salvin. That's a quick refuel and the battle for the lead is on. White car 1 of German Daniel Sieber, pursued by red car 6 of Spanish pilot Nacho Lopez Luch. They make easy work of passing backmarker Thilo Topman. Nacho marks Sieber for several corners, but Daniel seems to have some extra speed available when he needs it. Plus, you can see Nacho's doing a bit more sliding around. Approaching the halfway point, Daniel's tyres also seem to have lost their edge a little. He makes a fuel stop, and Nacho's Red Serpent sails down the straight. He's due to make a stop too, but the more distance he can put on Sieber increases his chances of getting in and out ahead of him. And that didn't help. Contact with the grass on that dreaded hairpin. Nacho goes in for fuel. Daniel retakes the position. And third place, Michael Klausner passes into second, dropping Nacho into third. On 88 laps, Daniel goes in for a tyre change, but on exiting, it's clear there's a problem with his body shell. This will affect the aerodynamics and the handling of the car, so he's forced to return to the pit. Nacho's in as well. He gets out first whilst Daniel continues to lose time, so the front three are reordered, with Michael Klausner out in front, at least for now, with Nacho Lopez and Daniel Sieber in third, all on lap 90. Klausner goes in for fuel and makes it back out, retaining the lead, though the red car behind is Lopez being hassled by Sieber. The three-way battle commences. All of a sudden, Lopez is away from Sieber and past Klausner. The three cars continue to chase, but Michael Klausner's white car has worked hard from 10th on the grid, so he's piling the pressure on the red Spanish car. Corner after corner, he's on the rear bumper of the Serpent. Daniel Sieber in third seems to have no trouble keeping up, but no doubt biding his time, waiting for the dueling pair in front to take each other out. They spread out a little in the straight, then back into the twisting curves, looking for a few millimetres to squeeze a whole car through, or hope for a whole big mistake to affect both of your opponents. Well, it's been a while since we've had battles like this late into a race, but a three-way, that's almost unheard of. Lap after lap, breaking later and later into the turns. Daniel seems happy to bide his time. Even if he did have some extra speed hiding somewhere, there's certainly not enough room to get past two moving targets on this track. Nacho turns in too tightly. Michael hits the greenery. Is this Daniel's opportunity to get back into position too? Just not got the power to get side by side. So, still, it's Lopez from Klausner from Sieber. 105 laps done, 30 minutes of racing done, and cars 6, 10 and 1 are fractions of a second apart in the chase for the top of the podium. Nacho goes in for fuel, so inevitably drops to third. A lap later, Sieber is in. When Klausner emerges from his refuelling, Sieber has passed him. So with less than a quarter of the race remaining, Lopez Luch is pursued by Sieber in second, with Klausner in third, several corners behind. The front pair pit together, but with Sieber's haphazard entry, he fails to make any gains. But then Lopez Luch gets the corner wrong. Daniel sends him across the grass. He's given him a shortcut. But then either Nacho sees the error and lets Daniel past, or the grass has caused him to lose traction. Probably both, but either way, Daniel's out in the lead. The battling cars take their final pit stop together. This time it's smooth, for Daniel at least, and they leave together as Michael Klausner rockets round the end of the straight into the second as Nacho exits into the greenery. So the two white cars battle for the lead again in the dying minutes of the race. The young Austrian Klausner knows this track so well, whereas Daniel just seems to know how to get the best out of his car. Michael retreats, probably for a splash and dash, but can Daniel use his experience to skip a final fuel stop? Well, that final fuel stop did allow Nacho back into second, and as the minutes count down, turning into seconds, Daniel's strategy, and most importantly skill, sees him into a sure victory, whilst the second podium spot is still being fought over bitterly. Nacho struggled with the conditions all week. It is not like this in Spain, though it is great practice for Halifax later in the year. Young Michael Klausner wants that second spot, but risks losing the podium altogether. A rear shunt, and Michael is warned by the referees over the PA system. Undeterred, he shows huge determination against the ultimately unfazed cool Nacho. Second or even first would have been glorious for the Austrian in front of the home crowd. But as the timing system announces, all cars are finished. He'll be happy with third, behind Nacho Lopez-Luch in second, and the frankly masterful German Daniel Sieber in first.
Yeah, it was amazing for me, but I have bad luck in the finals. I was outside of the track.
Did your tyres take a bit of getting used to? Is that why you left the track for a while?
Oh, there's a wet in the end of the straight, and I was a little bit too wide, and then outside on the track, and had the pit stop was not so good at first.
And also then you hooked your body shell, I think.
I lost the clip on the right side. Yeah.
So you were out in front for a long time, and then you were back down to third, and it must have been scary the whole time.
Yeah, I think I was cool.
You were amazingly cool.
Yeah, but I had the speed. The car was good.
You think any of your electric driving helps you with this?
Yeah, of course. Really, yeah, because I had more run time than the other guys.
Yeah.
I had one stop left.
I'm really happy with the second place. It was a really difficult race. In the beginning, the track was in some areas was wet, in some areas was dry. So I tried to push, but I did a lot of mistakes at the beginning. Then I get the good line of the track that was dry, and I can push. I recovered to the second position. Yeah, and after the tire change, I was first, so I need to push, but the number one was really fast. I tried to push more and more, but I did a mistake and I lost the first position, you know. So yes, I'm really happy because in these conditions in Spain we are not used to race, you know. So for me it's a really good result for sure.
It was good, and we have some problems with the pit straight. And it was good, the rest.
What happened in the pit straight?
It was too slippery. Yeah. And normally we used to go in second gear and to go out in second gear, but today it wasn't possible because it was too slippery. And he managed also at the second last pit stop, he was venting to the grass because he was going too fast. He thought it's possible, but it wasn't possible.
The battles were intense, weren't they? I mean, sometimes you looked like you could win. Are you disappointed, or are you fairly happy with third? It's a good achievement.
This is okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Were you happy with the tyres, the control tyres?
Yeah.
This is very good.
It's amazing.
The best.
Absolute tight qualifying, tight, everything. It's amazing.
Next stop, Halifax then.
Yeah, of course. I hope it's no rain.
It'll be raining.
Yeah, okay. I need a hovercraft.
Yes.
Yeah, but also I have to say that the control tires here in this event was amazing. No problems with tire drawing and additive and etc. It was perfect.
Well, congratulations.
Okay, thanks a lot.